Hi, writers.
Writers.
Are you ready to write?
Right.
I like when you do your thing. Wait, you know what I mean? You go, whoop, whoop. Wait, how do you do it? You go, whoop, whoop, whoop.
I forget now.
No, I just look crazy, but you do a thing where you're like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Someone back me up in the chat, please. That is a noise that Tim makes.
We should have no idea what you're talking about.
Welcome to our virtual write-in on this Double Up Donation Day 2018. Thank you. And we're very excited to write with you and see how you're doing and talk about our novels, mostly your novels. I don't know if I'm going to talk about my novel, but I'm so excited for today. I just don't want to share. Right to pass.
Yeah.
No one's allowed to talk if they don't want to talk. But I like hearing from people. I like to keep my own little secret. Okay. What is the virtual write-in? Oh, first, introduce myself. I'm Mariah. I'm the Young Writers Program Director.
I'm Tim. I am the NaNoWriMo Program Director.
And this is Blobby. He's an unofficial mascot who has his own portrait in the corner.
He's the director of Fun and Joy at the office. This couch is directors only.
That's so funny. I think Tim is a little loopy. If you've been following on Instagram Live, you can see on Instagram Live on Instagram stories, Tim came into the office at 7 in the morning. It is now 3 in the afternoon. He's been working all day because this is a special day. It's Double Up Donation Day. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that. So first of all, virtual write-ins, if you've never done one, welcome. It's a chance to hang out with creative people. It's a chance to write. We'll give you some prompts and some word sprints, but it's really up to you how you use the time. I'm going to try to write a lot.
Nice.
Yeah. And today is a special day. Like I said, it's a Double Up Donation Day, which happens once a year, just like Christmas. And let me open my notes. I didn't want to forget anything. Okay, so Double Up Donation Day. First, ask me what it is.
What's Double Up Donation Day, Mariah?
Thank you for asking. Double Up Donation Day is a day where we try to double how many words we write as a community. So like are you trying to double like your total word count or just your daily?
It's kind of up to you,
okay.
Right? So you could either double your total word count, which is much more doable now that Double Up Day's fallen on November 3rd this year. Or you can try to double the par. So if usually the par is 1667. So if you're doubling that, it's 3334, which is a very satisfying number.
That is satisfying.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try to double the times I wrote today. So I wrote in the morning, and I normally just write once a day, but I'm going to try to write twice a day. So.
When's your second session going to be?
Can I not count right now?
Well, you can count now.
No, I know. It's hard for me to write and also do this. So I think I'll write in the evening, maybe.
Nice.
Week after. And it's also a chance for you to get more, for your donation to count more to NaNoWriMo. So NaNoWriMo is a nonprofit. We depend on donations from people like you. And today, when you donate, you get double the amount of donation goodies. So if you donate $25, you get the $50 goodies,
yes.
Which are sticker, bookmark, bracelets, which is really cool. Plus, if you donate today, you get a real snazzy limited edition enamel pin. So that's just for today, right?
Just for today.
So if someone donates tomorrow, they don't get this. It's just today.
It's this guy. And this one was last year's.
Can't really see that at
Can
all.
You?
No.
What do I know?
Oh, yeah,
They're so
glinty. There we go. Yeah, they're really cool. They look nice together. And it's real special. Also, if you donate during this hour, we also have prizes during donation day. So if you donate during this hour, you'll be entered to win a Datamancer Diviner keyboard. And it's a really cool looking keyboard.
It looks
and
amazing.
I added a link in the description below the video. So if you wanted to go look at it on another tab, it's really cool. Another surprise. So Zoetic Press was matching donations a couple hours ago, right? And they were so impressed with all of the donations that you guys were giving that they offered to do another unlimited match.
They're obsessed with us.
They love NaNoWriMo. They love you guys. And so that means that if you donate in the next 2 hours, your donation will be doubled because they're going to, it's wild.
Yeah.
We thank them so much.
We're
obsessed with you, Zoetic Press.
Most of the time, like if people do like matching donations, they'll be like, oh, I'll match up to like, $1,000 or something, which is still amazing. But to have like an unlimited match, it's really like, what if we just like, what if y'all just like go wild and we just bring in like.
It feels a little dangerous.
Yeah.
What if we raised like $100,000 in this hour and they'd have to double it? They're legally obligated. So everyone rush and donate now. There's links in the description below the video to donate. So it's really easy. If you have $5, if you have $10, we really appreciate it. Oh, and more good news. So our goal at the beginning of today was to write 130 million words together, which is a lot of words. Right now we're at about 55 million words.
Whoa.
I know, it's a lot. So it's not quite half, but
That's amazing.
I think we still, it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
We're going to get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. I mean, we'll write. So make sure you update your word count because that thing only counts if you update your word count on the NaNoWriMo site. So maybe some people are waiting until the end of the day to update.
Oh, that's nice to push us over the edge.
Yeah, I think that's nice. And our money was $150,000, but we raised it already. Blah, blah, blah. That's amazing. You're going to do it. It's going to happen. So we raised $153,000, and because you guys are so awesome as a community, we decided, and NaNoWriMo is all about challenges.
Yes.
So we decided to challenge ourselves and you guys to try. We're going to try to get to $230,000, which is a lot more. It's like $80,000 more than our goal, but we think we can do it, so we're going to try to do it. Yeah, fingers. No. Did you do the thing where if you cross one, it's good luck. If you cross two, it's bad luck. If you cross three, it's. Me and my brother had this elaborate system, so it was like good luck, bad luck, good luck, and then you could keep crossing things.
And then it just every other one negates?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was a real thing, but that's just a weird thing that I made up. And I had a younger brother, so then I could just make him do it and say it was normal.
This is like, I feel like also I found that a lot of like my creative writing friends or whatever in general, like also made up some pretty elaborate lies for their siblings. Because I have another friend who's a published author, and she's so funny, but she convinced her younger brother that everybody switches genders at the age of 13. When they were like young, like in elementary school or something, or her little brother was in elementary school, and so he was like, "So dad used to be a girl?" She's like, "Yeah."
I kind of think writers are good at lying.
Yeah.
In a good way. Like today, my housemate was like, she asked me, "Have you ever smoked a cigar?" And I was like, "Well, so I grew up in a cigar factory, and so I know how to make cigars, but my parents never let us smoke any of them. But they would help us. We would make the really expensive ones because when we were little, our hands were so small that we could really roll it real fine." And she was like, "Really?" And I was like, "No, not really. You know, I didn't grow up in a cigar making factory." But she I think that writers have a special kind of ability to just.
It rolls off the tongue so easily.
Yeah. And then in my head, I was like, "Oh, I should write that." Like I really did.
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm gonna write about a girl and a boy living in this cigar factory on the fringes of some fading industrial city.
That's so interesting.
Rolling like fancy cigars for like the rich, whatever." I know. I'm gonna write it. Dibs.
Dibs.
Now everyone's sharing in the chat all the times they've lied to their siblings.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Yes. Okay. So I guess we shouldn't chat all day, but we can chat like most of the time. I like chatting. I like talking. It's so much easier to talk than it is to write. Let's just be real. That's what I'm trying to do is avoid writing. Okay. We're just going to dive right into it. So a virtual write-in, we have 3 prompts. We're going to do them one at a time, and we'll do word sprints. So we'll say 5 minutes for this one, write as much as you can. If the prompt speaks to you, use it. If you hate the prompt, you can just write whatever you're writing, use something else. Or if you wanted more prompts, we're sharing a lot of donation day updates on Instagram and Twitter, which include a lot of prompts that we made for donation day. So you could always check out those places to see if the prompts are better. I know the one is me says, "Let's start a sprint already." All right.
Woo!
I know. No more procrastination. I know. Okay. So our very first prompt, and we're going to drop these in the chat, but it's also in the description below the video. We're going to describe a character from the ground up, starting with the actual ground they're standing on. So get a picture of a character in your head. It could be your main character. It could be a different character. We're doing kind of a character profile. And nothing is too small or too big. So like, for instance, today, I've got these shoes. I've got these frayed. Like start small, actually go up from the beginning. What color socks do they have? Like, are their shoes scuffed in a certain way and why? So we're going to do 5 minutes. If you'd rather draw, you can totally draw. Just challenge that part of your creative mind. If you have questions, you can drop them in the chat and we'll answer them.
Yeah.
And otherwise, let's write. Oh, someone says, perfect. I just had 2 characters walk into the scene.
Hey.
Love it. And even if you don't end up using this character description in a final draft of your novel, it still counts for your words and it will still help you understand your characters better. So if you're struggling to understand a character, try this with that. Try this activity with them and see what you discover as you just kind of, I'm picturing a camera like scanning out from the ground up. Okay. Someone said they did it earlier in the chapter. That's okay. Maybe you did it for a main character. Try it with a villain. Try it with, like, honestly, sometimes I do it even with side characters just to really know what kinds of things they're going to say. How they are. Okay, ready? 5 minutes. Ready, set, go. Whoa. I cannot believe that was 5 minutes.
How did it go? What were your word counts? Share some sentences if you're down for that. Did you use the prompt? How did you use it? Sort of used it. Did you use it?
I sort of used it. It's one that I like to use.
Starting with the ground.
I think the ground part is interesting.
Do you actually describe the ground?
Yeah, but like, where are they standing? This is when I was writing my novel this morning, because I'm a morning writer, and I was like, had this character scared and was closing her eyes and could tell where she was going because the ground was changing, like,
Whoa.
and how that was feeling. Like, first on this dirt, and she was sinking, and then gravel, and then slapping on this like hard concrete, but she'd never really been on concrete before, so trying to figure out what that was.
Cool.
So it was in my head, I think, the idea of starting from the ground up.
I started with the ground and it was lava.
What?
Yeah.
The ground is legit lava.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Some people just were describing from the ground up and got to the character's knees or the character's.
Nice.
What I like is that small details can really kind of inform the rest of your story. Yeah. Like if you notice a character has like shoes worn in a certain way, mm-hmm. or like a certain stain, and you can think like, where did that come from and why? And
yeah. Did you read The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas?
No, it's on my to-read list though.
In that book, the main character is a sneakerhead, so she's really into sneakers. So like hers are like pristine and like really like, you know,
yeah,
expensive or hip, like stylish
totally.
Sneakers, and how she bonds with another character. But yeah, totally. Like that's a huge character detail.
That's really cool. The ground, so Abby says, the ground he stood on was riddled and cracked tree limbs, cramped green bushes.
Ooh.
Here's Leah. Gary Finkelton, love the name, stood slightly hunched. Oh no, I lost it. Gary!
Gary!
Where did
you
he
were
go?
standing slightly hunched.
Oh my gosh, it's because people were typing and the chat disappeared it. Oh my gosh, I was so interested in Gary Finkelton. I'm not kidding. I'm going to do a search and find Gary. No, it's not working. Ugh. All right. Whoever's writing about Gary Finkelton, I'm so sorry I lost it. I was very interested in that.
Grad student UCM says, LOL, hated the prompt at first, but my narcissist character should be fully described from toe to tip.
Yeah, sometimes I don't like prompts either. I've said this on VWIs before that I'll often just like use the time to write whatever I feel like, but yeah. I'll ignore the prompt. But sometimes the prompt, like I have also had the experience of being like, I don't want to do this. And then afterwards I'm like, oh, that was cool actually. It's like the story of my life. Who's Gary? Gary was Gary Finkelton. Gary, where are you? Oh, yeah. Gary Finkelton stood slightly hunched with his right foot clad in a worn gray Wolverine sneaker with untied laces positioned slightly in front of his body.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wolverine sneakers.
Oh, like this one too, Lady Lazarus. From the way she walked to the way she held herself, it was clear that she was not confident in whatever shoes she was put in. Not even in these new polished black flats the good doctor bought for her.
Ooh.
What? This is so good. It's, I feel like, are so telling.
Why did he buy those shoes for her?
Yeah, exactly. Well, most kids had this is Ash, had black and white sneakers to match the dirtied floor. Sky's brand new pastel purple sneakers stood out. Whoa, and I liked how you worked in the dirty floor. Like, it really tells me so much about stuff, and it was so interesting. Okay. Yes, we found Gary. I know Gary was MIA for a second, but we found him. Okay.
This one from Spooky Moose. Frost covered the ground, coating the carpet of leaves with lace. Delicate, intricate patterns blotted out forever into damp, muddy circles as the girls' boots walked over them. What a mood.
Yeah, what a mood. Jen F said, I didn't use the prompt just now, but NaNoWriMo is great for building my writer toolbox, so I'll definitely be using it soon when I get past the current scene. It sounds like a cool idea. I do that too. Like, something like won't work for me in the moment. Like the meme is me, said when they write in order. I do that too. But sometimes I'll have a memory of something good, and then I'll use a prompt that I heard like days earlier. Okay. So if you're just joining us again, this is a virtual write-in. It's part of Double Up Donation Day. You can get extra goodies for your donations, plus a special really cool enamel pin. Tim is wearing it on this thing. And that's just for today. If you want to learn more about it, check the link underneath underneath the video. And otherwise, maybe let's see, it's 3:20. I feel like I'm feeling some like in the prompts, or not the prompts, the chat. I'm feeling like people are a little worried about reaching my word count goals.
Yeah, we can modulate. We can do more
Yeah.
sprints, or we can chat more. It's up to y'all. Let us know.
Because sometimes it seems like people who come to these are more interested in kind of chatting about their novels. But I'm definitely getting the sense that today people are like, I've got a goal, I got to double my thing, like I've got this hour, let's do it. So we can just let us know in the chat what you'd like to do, and we can do it. Okay. And of course, everyone's going to have a different opinion. Let's chat. More sprints. Let's chat. Okay. So
there's no way to poll in here.
Yeah.
Which would be nice.
That would be cool because we could see where people are falling. Well, let's try to get a half hour of writing in. So that means we'll do another 10-minute prompt and another 15-minute prompt. And then if we have a lot of time at the end, we can
we'll chat at the end.
Chat all about it. I used to be a teacher. That was a very teachery thing to say. If you're good, then at the end, we'll have time to talk. Okay. All right, so here's our second prompt for this sprint. And it's in the description below the video, and also we'll drop it in the chat. And it's this: prompt 2, write a first for an important character, not necessarily your main character. Here are 2 suggestions: first time they fainted, or first time they disobeyed a parent. Ooh. This is 10 minutes. So again,
any first.
So those are
the suggestions are first time you fainted or first time you disobeyed a parent.
Well, if you're the character, but they.
Or
your novel, this is a story. Definitely not just writing a story of my life. And I like these because they can, even if they don't go in your final draft, they help your words a lot. Plus, they help you understand your character. Like if you know the first time they disobeyed their parent, even if that story never comes up in your novel, like it's still good information to help you when you write. Okay.
Alexandra asked, how do you sprint? It's super easy.
Not for me.
Oh.
Are you good at it?
Well, I mean,
this is what I need. Like straight up, I need like 3 to 4 minutes to ponder, where I just like kind of look at my thing and like ponder a little bit, and then I start writing, and then the timer goes on. So I'm not very good at sprints, but I do like hanging out, and I like the prompts, looking at them later.
I think I'm good at sprints because I'm fine with going with my first thought. I'm just like, cool, let's run with that.
Nice.
If you're asking like what a sprint is in general, it's just a timed writing exercise. So we give like a certain amount of time, and then we offer a suggested prompt which you can use, but you just kind of like write as much as you can in that amount of time, and then at the end we ask people for how much they wrote, like the word count during that time, and then if they want to share a sentence. So like the actual exercise itself is like very simple.
Yeah.
But I guess there are complications.
But it's also
execution.
It's also good if you're having trouble, like I'm hearing people say, how am I going to get to this number? It's good if you can kind of like, I'll try. Okay, fine. All right. I'll try this time to like jump out of my normal pondering, and I'll try to just like write. I'll write to this prompt, and I'll try not to think about it at all as I go. Like the key, I think, is to, like you said, just like it's like a run. Like you can't start walking. You have to start. Okay, fair enough. All right, 10 minutes. And the prompt is below the video. We're writing first for some important characters. And if you're not sure what a sprint is, people are dropping in some great explanations in the chat. Ready, set, right. Don't be afraid to start with like the first time she disobeyed a parent was. Like that's a fine way to start for a prompt. Okay, that's 5 minutes, so we've got 5 more minutes.
How much time is left?
2 minutes. Ooh. I know. I'm really doing it. Oh, shit. One minute. Voice comes to shock.
It's a nice like alarm though. So I used to have one that was much more like.
I had a duck set once, and then it went off accidentally as my alarm in the morning. And I have a dog, and he flipped out and thought there's a duck in the room.
Does he like ducks?
No, he wants to eat everything. It's not a dog. So anyway, I had to change it. Okay, so I actually did it this time. I said I was going to, and I did it. And
How did it feel?
It felt exciting. Like at first, I started doing it, and I was like, I'm not gonna do this. I can't envision the scene in which my character would faint. And then I started, and then it just happened. It happened like how writing happens. Like you start, you don't know what you're gonna do. Something occurs to you, and you go with it. And then by the end, I'm like, oh yeah, I put all my characters, which are some weird characters, in a church.
Cool.
And she's like in the back of the church and everything. She didn't even get to the part where she fainted yet, but 346 words.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
My main character, I also did the fainting thing, but basically started with like he's never fainted before, but he can't stop thinking about the first time he's going to faint.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was interesting. But then it led into kind of a boring conversation. But I still got a lot of words, and maybe it'll become a less boring conversation as it continues.
I was making myself laugh as I was writing, which is always a fun. I like that as a thing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes something will occur to you, and you're like, "Where did that come from, brain?" That's why I love writing. Oh, someone wrote 1,000. Wait, is that 1,000 words? That's amazing.
That's really amazing.
Prince and Ghost says 87. Why am I so slow? I'm also very slow. Like this is maybe the most I've ever written in a word sprint.
Nice.
And those are.
Did you count?
346.
That's great.
I normally write super slow, and I think that's okay. Like,
yeah. I also think
that you wrote something.
Yeah. Because I think, like, word sprints are great for when you're really trying to power through and add a lot of words. And if you feel like you're getting, like, really into your head and just, like, letting yourself indulge in more daydreaming than writing, then word sprints are a great way to kind of snap you out of that rhythm. But sometimes you need to do the daydreaming thing, to actually, like, get into your writing later on. So if you found yourself kind of, like, noodling more than you were actually writing, that's okay. Maybe the next word sprint will be amazing for you.
Yeah. You can just set different intentions. Sometimes you can come thinking, I'm going to sit quietly for 5 minutes and let myself dream. And then sometimes, like, I just set the intention this time I'm going to write. So I think it's nice to have different creativity. It's not all writing is like, a lot of writing is just kind of sitting sometimes and thinking, like, and then, I don't know, people have different styles.
I'm really good at the noodling part, and I'm not as good as the actual.
I love the noodling. Starlight Sapphire said 415 words, the most I've written for a sprint all day.
Whoa!
That wasn't it yet. You're gonna do it. I have you on camera doing it, like another virtual write-in. I know you do that. Whoop, whoop. Whoa. Someone says the crack of bones could be heard echoing through the halls. That was Plant Mom.
Whoa.
Haley Schmidt says her sister wrote 128 and her sister wanted to share. It's fine. I don't get death threats every day. She's 12, her sister.
As long as you don't get them every day.
I love that.
That's amazing. I love that too. Mercifully News says, I like that sometimes when I'm stalled out, I see you two have both paused too. It makes the thinking time feel less stressful. Yeah, there were definitely like multiple moments during that sprint where I was like, there was one moment where for sure I was like, this conversation's getting boring. And then I was like, how do I keep it going?
I'm looking for a sentence. So people are sharing some sentences.
This chat is
I know
really
that
weird
chat.
for me.
Oh, really? I was going to say it's like all over the place. I daydream way too much, says John. I never daydream too much. Alexis Duck said she had never snuck in or out for that matter, but now is not the time for a learning curve. I think that sounds really interesting.
She's gonna nail it the first time out. Be an expert sneaker. Witch Kid Milo, although her voice was full of malice, there was something about it that made Annie's heart flutter as she talked, and in an instant she knew she was different. First time the main meets her girlfriend.
That's cool. Raven Starlight says, the first time Melody had ever disobeyed her father was when she was 5 years old. She had been down to see the horses on her own. I think that sounds
Why isn't she allowed to see the horses on her own?
I don't know. That's why I like that prompt, because like it implies there's conflict built
She's
into
gonna
it, kind
faint.
of.
Or no, that's the first time she
That's the
disobeyed
first
her parents.
Lisa wrote, the first time my character intentionally used his power. Something bubbled up inside his chest, warm and urgent, and when he opened his eyes, he found a tiny spark of light in his palm.
Ooh.
I had a writing teacher once who kind of clued me into these kinds of prompts. She said firsts and lasts are always really interesting. So it's like the first time they do anything, or the last time. Like think like the last time I saw that person, the last time I was in this room, the last time I like believed in Santa.
Yeah.
I realized like, Santa's real if you're watching and you believe in Santa. I don't spoil it. No, Tim. As I said that, I thought, oh my God, what have you done?
That is the teacher impulse in you. Yeah, it's so true though. First kiss and last kiss are way more interesting than like any of the kisses in between.
Right? It's if you're ever stuck, like do like a first time or a last time, and you'll find something there, I think. Okay. It's 3:42. Should we write for another 15? 10 to 15?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So again, I'm just going to repeat our spiel. It's Double Up Donation Day. Check us out on Twitter and Instagram Live. We're doing a bunch of updates about how we're doing. We're trying to reach $230,000 right now and 130 million words. So definitely update your word count on the NaNoWriMo site. Definitely, if you can, donate because you get your donations are doubled during these 2 hours, and you get extra goodies for $25 plus an enamel pin. Super cool. And if you like virtual write-ins and if you like YouTube, subscribe. We're over here. Subscribe. No, that's here. Push the button and you can subscribe to our channel and you'll get updates about other things we're doing. Okay, so our third prompt is this. And I'll say it, but if you're having a good time, because I didn't finish my other prompt about,
You gonna keep going?
I think I might keep going on that. So if that was working for you, keep going. If it wasn't, here's a third prompt you can try in this last sprint. Number 3. Your character is asleep in bed when they're awoken by a loud noise. What happens next? This could be in a memory, this could be in your story, but I like to think like, how would your character respond to a loud noise in the middle of the night, right?
Yeah.
Would they run down to face it? Would they hide? Would they call their parent? Would they like...
Maybe they fainted in the last scene and now they're waking up.
And I think I'm going to keep writing... Well, I just lost my thought. All my words are in the story. I do not know how to talk.
How are you going to approach the sprint? Are you going to dive back into it again, or are you going to noodle?
Oh my God. Okay, I'll try not to noodle. I'll try to keep writing and see what happens. I find my style is different when I'm sprinting.
Yeah.
It like the sentences end up way too long.
Oh, my sentences get longer in sprints too.
Yeah, but then I always find something interesting, which is cool. Like sometimes I find interesting things that I wouldn't have found if I was noodling.
Yeah. I think my writing becomes a little bit more, like I'm not trying to be stream of consciousness, but it feels a little bit more like that in terms of like the longer rambling sentences, but it can be cool.
Okay. I said 15 minutes, but that won't give us time to like hang out at the end. So should we do 12?
Yeah.
10 felt like a lot actually. When you're sprinting, 10 feels like forever.
Let's do 10.
Yeah, okay. Raven Star like, frowny face, I have no idea how to put this into my story. Don't worry about it then. Just write your story or write the prompt you were doing before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready? Do a first or a last if you want.
Yeah. Do a different first or last. You can just legit write those all day. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
What?
1, 2, 3, prompt. Oops. We have 2.5 minutes left. A minute 30. See if you can write. See if you can write without pausing.
Love it.
Finish your sentence. Okay. I have to make a note about what I'm writing next. I'll forget. Sometimes it's hard to switch out of it so easy. Okay. Do you do this where you write notes to yourself
At the end.
about what's gonna come next? Like I've always heard try not to end, try to end in the middle of something so that when you start again the next day, you have something to work with.
Yeah.
So whether that means you end in the middle of a chapter or the middle of a scene. So I like to do that, and then I'll write out like kind of a couple bullet points that I can see happening next, so that when I come back to it, I'm not just like, what? I have an idea.
I should do that. I don't do that.
I think it helps. Okay, so drop in the chat maybe how many words you wrote, maybe a sentence you really liked, or maybe we want to drop in something for the end, like what's your goal for the rest of donation day?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm so yawny right now.
I think writing kind of puts me in that state, like
Relaxed a little.
I mean, to be honest, it's really hard to go from writing to go back to work because I'm like, my brain just wants to kind of float around and like dream up stuff, and then I'm like, oh, I have to focus somehow. That's also why I really like writing, because you get to kind of be in this dream state. I think it's cool. Okay, so what's your goal for the rest of donation day?
Oh my gosh, I want to get to par, because for where I should be at the end of day 3, because I did not start writing until literally when this started.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good though.
Yeah.
We can use this time.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So my goal, I think, is still going to be, so I think I wrote about 500 words just now, not like just in this sprint, but total. I think my goal is going to be to set aside, I like time goals. So I'm going to set aside at least 30 minutes at some point today to do nothing but write. So I won't check Instagram or anything. I'm just going to write. Even if I just write 10 words, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Okay. We're getting some really good sentences. People are saying their goals. Someone's trying to reach, Miss Mady Reads is trying to reach 4K. Musical Book Dragon, I like that name, is going to get to at least 6,000 words. Oh, they're only like 100 words away right now. You're going to do that. I know you will. Someone wants to reach 4K, 2K. Someone just made it to 11K. Tiny Beth Secret. Good job.
Woohoo!
Elizabeth Bridges says in all caps, someone said this, I've almost doubled my word count today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. You're the one who did it. Good job.
That's amazing.
And someone, oh my gosh, this chat is moving a little fast for me to read. I was trying to read some sentences, but I'm looking for a sentence I can share. Ooh. Here's Amy Lewis. The bread she brought back tasted different from the ones Gemma made in the castle, filled with nuts and bits of grain that hadn't been fully ground by bored servants who had stood still for too long.
Oh.
There's a lot of information in that sentence, and it just gives you so much. Let's see. Oh my gosh, Alexandra Orr. So I want to double congratulate you. I feel like earlier in the chat you were saying it was hard for you to get started today, and you just shared a sentence.
Woohoo.
So they said, turn that down, I yelled to the next room where Grandma was sleeping. She yelled back, #1 victory royale. I groaned and slumped back down on the bed. That sounds so interesting.
What's the #1 victory royale?
I know. Congratulations, too. It can be hard.
Amazing.
It can be hard to dig yourself out of the feeling like getting started can be hard when you're feeling low.
Yeah.
So good job. Props to you. Mel Godoy said, Glenn sneezed and a shoestring of snot flew out his nose. He panics while fumbling through the glove compartment, finding a fast food napkin. I love the idea of a shoestring of snot.
Oh my gosh. SRD555 wrote, Joy decided it was time to go for broke. She screamed and charged ahead, brandishing the wine bottle above her head, waving it as wildly as she could since it was a completely full bottle and heavy. That's amazing.
It makes me want to read all these novels. Like, does that happen to you where you hear bits and pieces and you're like, okay, I want to read that, I want to read that, I want to read that. There's so much of it. Someone went to both write-ins today, Julia Matthews, and they're at over 7,700 words.
Amazing.
Wah, wah, wah. Okay. Oh my gosh. C. Powell says, Fee wished she could breathe for her friend, but she couldn't. All she could do was watch as Aston pressed his hand on the spellcaster's neck.
Oh.
I know. I love it. Some people are at 7,000. What would be on par today?
5,000. 5,001.
Whoa. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which is totally doable, I feel like.
To get to 5,000.
Yeah.
I am doing mine on the Young Writers Program site since I'm the Young Writers Program Director, and Young Writers set their own goals on YWP. So I set my own goal for this month to be 30,000 words.
Oh, nice.
So that's 1,000 words a day, and right now I'm on track. So
that's great.
Yeah, I like it.
Congrats.
Thanks. 50,000 word things, just intense for me, I think. Louise Kelly says I'm only at 4,450. You could totally get to 5,001. I bet. Like we just did
Easily.
like 25 minutes, and I bet you could just take another 25, watch a different virtual write-in, do a prompt on Twitter. Since it's Double Up Donation Day. We're going to be active like all day. So check out our Instagram for prompts. Check out our Twitter for prompts and how to donate. You can donate if you can below the video. Subscribe to our video to get more updates about different videos we post.
Is there another virtual write-in today? No.
I don't think there is. I think we're the last one. Yeah.
If you want to watch more, though, like Mariah said, there's a ton on our YouTube channel, so you can go back and watch like previous ones.
Which sounds weird, but it's actually okay.
Yeah, it's
like,
totally okay.
You can totally watch, and then when you're watching a recorded virtual write-in, you can't chat. But maybe that's better because you can only write. But you can listen, you can read the chat, and you can listen, and you can pause it if you need more time.
And if you want, you can leave like sentences in the comments to those videos because like we see that too, and you know, we can't read them aloud on the stream, but we like give it a like.
Totally. Cool. All right, should we go? I guess.
Yeah. Do people have like? I mean, we're wrapping up, but do people have like questions or anything? If not, Keep writing, do the double update. What's your like last, do you have like a final piece of encouragement or advice for people who are continuing to work towards their double update goals?
I think like my advice is to just be kind to yourself. I think like treat yourself like you would treat a friend who's trying really hard to do something. And if your friend came to you and said, I'm feeling really bad because I didn't meet my goal today, you wouldn't be like, you suck. You'd be like, that's totally okay. Like you tried your best, you wrote more than yesterday, give them a little pep talk.
Yeah.
So just like treat yourself that way too, you know, say like, I'm gonna do my best. If I don't get it, that's okay. Like I'm just gonna write more than I had the day before.
That's good.
That's not advice for writing more words, but it is a good advice for feeling for trying to feel good about yourself.
Yeah, I think I saw someone in the chat say like they had like a breakdown today, like while they were writing. So like definitely,
Yeah.
I think you in particular maybe take Mariah's advice.
Because it can feel stressful,
It can
NaNoWriMo.
feel like 100% stressful, super stressful.
But the point is to have fun. So like if your goal is stressing you out, like just think about what's a lower goal that I can reach, or how can I make it fun again?
Yeah.
CJ said, how many years have each of you been doing Nano? I did it in 2012 and I won. And then I've never won since. When did you do it?
I did it once in high school, and then I did it more regularly after college. And then ever since I've been working here, I've been trying it at least attempting NaNoWriMo every year.
Nice.
It's been like 6 years in a row now.
That's great. Good job.
Thanks.
Okay, so if people want more write-ins, again, just subscribe to our YouTube channel. And
We have a bunch next week.
yeah, we have a bunch. So just check the yeah, you can check our playlist or our upcoming videos just if you're on our channel. So cool. Okay, well, check us out on Twitter and on Instagram today, and then I guess we'll see you in another virtual write-in.
Thanks for writing with us.
Yeah. And if you want to donate, just that link below. Womp womp. Oh no, I can't reach. Cool.
Good job.